But
Wow.
thank you
How are
for the
you,
warm
Helen?
welcome. Yes, good, good. Glad it's
It's
Friday.
such it's such a rare privilege to have a person like you and to talk with you. I've gone through your LinkedIn profile. I've seen a few of your videos on YouTube, and I'm like, wow.
Oh, wow. Okay. I hope those were the good videos. Yeah, I'd be interested
Yes,
to hear which ones you were
yes,
seeing.
definitely. So, do you mind sharing briefly, an overview of your career and who is Helen?
Sure, sure. So I studied design, interior design, and started working in industry. And then I got a phone call from Inscape this is my 25th year, so 25 years ago, asking if I would like to come and lecture, which I said, sure. I very rarely say no to anything. So I signed up to lecture, and that was it, as a part-time lecturer. And my personal circumstances eventually led to me becoming full-time employed, and took over the academic department at Inscape at that time. Grew up in this business, learned all the different components and all the facets of business, HR, technology, finance, and so on. And then eventually in 2014, actually bought the business over from the previous owner, and shifted from the classroom into a more of a management role at that point. By this time, I had also studied a postgrad in education, and I started running the business really. When I took it over in 2014, we had about 200 students. We're now sitting on about 1,500 students annually, with 5 campuses and a distance learning campus as well. And we've done some incredible stuff along the way. We have a lot of fun and we work hard. But yeah, that's kind of, I suppose, the in a nutshell.
Wow, wow, wow. And you are coming on this interview as somebody who has entrepreneurial experience and as well as leadership experience. And I'm sure anybody listening to this will really enjoy and learn a lot from you.
I hope
What,
to share.
yes, what or who has been your biggest inspiration throughout your career, and how has that influenced your journey?
So I can't actually pinpoint an individual who's been an inspiration. I tend to draw people closer, depending on what season I'm in at the time. I've had a number of people who have stuck by me in the trenches when it's been hard. But yeah, I think I can't really pinpoint a person. And I think, I would caution against even putting that pressure onto one person, right? Because when somebody sort of or claims, a person as their inspiration, for that person, that's really, really tough, because there's a responsibility now going forward. And I think that can sometimes damage a relationship. I'm extremely intrinsically motivated. And so I can't say that I would want other people to feel like I rely on them necessarily. Not always a good thing, I know. I'm an extremely strong Christian, so my faith is there, and I guess my strength lies in God and the work that I do. I realize I'm a vessel for His work. But yeah, I can't say I've ever really had one individual that has been my person, let's say.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. So, what key factors would you say have contributed to your success in climbing the corporate ladder?
Staying off the corporate ladder. That's probably been the most important thing. So I would not classify my environment as a corporate environment.
Okay.
I mean, private higher education, yes. Is it formalized? Yes. Is it regulated? Very. But the type of environment we have maintained is not a corporate environment. We work hard, we play hard, we're very much about relationships. And so I guess if I were to find myself in a typical traditional corporate environment, I imagine that relationship building would probably help me to succeed. You read so many memes and stories about your colleagues are not your family. Remember that. We're a team. This is not a family, and so on. But I have a very, very different perspective. You know, we work and we spend more time with our colleagues than we often spend with our own families. And so I guess it is that relationship building. And I think some of my biggest regrets are also those times where whatever my action was actually hurt a relationship. So I think as I've got older, I've realized that this is the relationships are really what it's about.
One of the things that I found very interesting about Helen is the fact that she keeps on mentioning that her workplace is not your usual workplace, you know. It's a workplace where they have fun, and she doesn't believe in just working for the sake of working, but she believes in relationship building, being in the workplace and, you know, working with others and having fun. I don't know what you think. I would like to know in the comment section, what are your thoughts around that when it comes to work? What do you think work should be like? Because some people say it's not necessary to, you know, form relationships, because they say where you work is not your home. It is in the home where you can have friends. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Do you think that people in the workplace should have fun and, you know, behave like brothers and sisters and so on? And I think Helen's leadership style is quite amazing. And also having started from interior design, where she is now is quite amazing. So yeah, you were explaining that you don't take your work environment as an environment where people say we are here to work, we are not here to have fun. You know, I like your line of thinking.
Yeah. So I think just to kind of re-clarify it is we work hard and we play hard, and you know we are very much about each other and relationships whilst we're busy doing it. Our core values at Inscape are quality, authenticity, and relationships, and we try very hard to allow people to show up as they are in their own authentic self. We are very much about building those relationships and understanding who people are, and you know, other than their work persona. You know, who are they? What is their family like? Where do they come from? What are the challenges? What's their biggest headaches? Yeah, you know, there's this, we have business to business, business to customer. I think one of the more recent things is H to H, human to human. And I think that's what we strive to do.
That's amazing, Helen. That's pretty amazing. You almost make me feel like wanting to come and join your organization.
Ah, come. There's plenty of space for everybody. It's always work to be done, right?
Because honestly, you have created an environment that many people yearn to work in and probably dream that one day, if they could ever work in such an organization, it will be such a privilege.
That's such a crazy thought, because it's so easy to be kind and it's so easy to give people your time, you know.
Wow.
It's crazy that you even say that. It's quite sad, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw recently on LinkedIn last week, Friday, we had our National Cleaning Day, and everybody got stuck in, pulled up their sleeves, and people were cleaning and fixing things. And it was just incredible. You know, there's such a sense of ownership and respect and self-respect and pride for the workplace, and it's amazing.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. So obviously, you know, when running a business and being in leadership, there will definitely be some challenges along the way. Is there a particular challenge you have faced and you would like to share with us, and probably share with us how you managed to go around it?
So I've just recently finished my MBA, and
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much.
I know I congratulated you on LinkedIn, but it would be nice also to congratulate you here.
Thank you. The MBA that I did was through Business School Netherlands, BSN, and it's an action learning MBA. And so you work on the business that you're in whilst you're busy doing your projects. And action learning requires you to find a real problem, and they define what is a real problem. So, you know, it can't be a problem that is easily solved. You do not know the answer when you start out with this particular problem or challenge. And so it was really interesting, that process, to first of all start to understand what's a real problem, and what's just something that needs to be sorted out or fixed. And I think for my dissertation was probably one of the biggest challenges that I was facing personally, was trying to balance strategic work and operational work. And, you know, as a business owner and as a CEO, finding myself constantly reaching into the business, wanting to fix things and wanting to take charge and so on. And when you do that, you're not always conscious that you're doing it, but you also haven't unpacked and considered what are the real challenges that are happening that causes you to reach into the business. And what's the impact of you doing that? And, you know, who are you helping or not helping along the way? And so I came to learn that balancing that thing is extremely difficult. And it's a challenge that many senior people in businesses and business owners face. And one's got to really make a conscious decision about where do I want to be and where are my strengths and so on. And so obviously solved for this problem, realized I need to be more strategic, made some changes in the business, restructured slightly, brought in some new positions, re-looked at our people management strategy, started to have strategic dialogues with all staff from all parts of the business, to try and bring staff closer to the strategy so that we can start understanding what each other are actually responsible for. And then ultimately, how can we serve each other in those tasks? And so I suppose this challenge of balancing those two areas. And in fact, it's not the first time I've had that challenge, because a number of years ago, so I forget when it was, 2015, 2016, somewhere around there, I had a complete burnout, and I was ready to throw the towel in. And it was my husband who actually said to me, let's go and speak to somebody about this. And so we spoke to an elder in our church about this. And eventually he said to me, but Helen, you're trying to be strategic and operational. You can't do both. You're going to have to address this. And so it was really interesting for me how cyclical this thing was.
Wow.
Anyway, I went on to again, then said I would need to be more strategic. And that same elder actually landed up coming into Inscape and assisting me to solve the problem.
Wow.
So yeah, I think that's possible. And this returning challenge. So something I need to keep cognizant of going forward.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing stuff. So is there a particular book that you have read that helped you on the leadership and entrepreneurial journey?
Sure, Wilbert. Designing Your Life by Evans. It's a good book.
Okay.
There's all the common ones, good to great.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of
but it's
anyone.
Okay. You have given me more than one, so it's good.
The Hard Things is another good one. I listened to that. That was great. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So I know that being at the top is they say it's a lonely game. How has it been for you, and what strategies do you suggest for other executives?
It is a lonely game. I think, we know when we're lonely. And so then obviously we start reaching out and trying to draw someone or something closer to overcome that loneliness. One of the key things is understanding what that, let's call them a strategic partner, looks like. It can't always be the people in the business, because you sometimes need an external observer who is objective. I would say that in the past, I've sometimes made some mistakes with who I've drawn in. who have not necessarily been aligned with my value system or where I'm actually wanting to go with the business. But there's always a temptation to think that, you know, those people that you engage know more than you do. And it's not always the case. You know, as a person who's grown up in this business, been there for a very long time, extremely passionate about what we do in our business, people on the outside don't understand that always.
Right. Okay. Time is very jealous, Helen. It's such a privilege to host you, and I think we will need a follow-up interview. Is there anything that you want to share as your parting shot, and is there anywhere people can connect with you?
Yeah, sure. They can connect with me on LinkedIn, Helen Buhrs. Alternatively, by email, helen.buhrs@inscape.co.za. I tend to keep my other social media private, Facebook and so on. But certainly LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an amazing platform for networking. Awesome. I think, yeah, possibly one of, you know, a parting thought is we battle with unemployment in our country. It's huge.
Right.
In fact, as Inscape, we did a CEO town hall meeting last week, and we're waging war on unemployment. And, you know, that's kind of our focus for the next 18 months. How do we really, really wage war on unemployment? What does this look like? Going beyond what we do as it is. You know, as a business, we would regard ourselves as an ethical business. And we're now intentionally shifting our business to a redemptive business model, which is more than being an ethical business. So I think, you know, because we have such a high unemployment rate, it's kind of, you know, what if I don't have a job? How do I find a job? People are quite demotivated and so on. And I kind of want to say, you know, the times where I have learned and grown the most are the times where I put my hand up, expecting nothing in return. And that's often what's landed me in fruitful situations. And so I think just as a closing thought, just that, when we put ourselves forward without any expectations, but with all the gratitude in the world, that's when stuff happens, the magic happens.
Wow. In other words, are you saying that if I'm unemployed, it can be a good idea to volunteer as Absolutely. A way to make a difference and at the same time gain experience and network with new people?
Exactly. And you never know who you're going to meet along that path.
Definitely.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Helen. You are a very busy person, and I know you want to jump into another meeting. I really, really am very grateful for your time and your advice. Hope to catch up with you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, Wilbert. You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.